What's up, YouTube? In this video, we're going to be looking at basically exploring with your eye. So, as you can see, it's pretty bland. There's not much of anything to really take a shot of. It's pretty boring. Let's move out of the way here. It's got a guy on an electric scooter coming along. Not bad. Yourself?
You get pictures?
Well, right now I'm shooting a video.
Oh, okay. Alright, take care.
Alright, you too. Okay, so like I was saying, we're basically going to be looking at, changing your perception of the things that are around you in regards to finding opportunities of things to take pictures of. So on the surface, doesn't look like there's anything worthwhile whatsoever to take a shot of. I mean, it's pretty bland. The trees are pretty much dead. You know, it's nothing exciting whatsoever. But basically, let's see if we can actually find some interesting things to take a shot of when there's seemingly nothing to take a shot of. Okay, so just a few feet from where I just was, came across this. So the sun, as you can see as I zoom out, the sun is actually in front of it, so behind it from my perspective, so it's actually backlit, and it actually comes out as a pretty good, interesting photo. So take a shot of that, and we'll move on to the next thing. Okay, so just noticed these things over here. Not even sure what these are called. Now, the one thing with shooting things like this is because there is some wind, you need to be very patient and actually wait for that one split second, literally, that absolute split second, just when they stop moving before you actually fire the shutter. So you just have to be ready and just pay very close attention to the wind speed, and as soon as they freeze, you just shoot and you'll be good to go, or you can use a very high shutter speed. So let's just get a shot of this and see what happens. All right. So that first image, let's see, settings. So this is ISO 280, f2.8, 1/1500th of a second at 50 millimeters using multi-zone. No flash, shot in RAW, obviously. Is there any other details? No. So this actually isn't too bad, but you know, I want it to be a little bit warmer. So let's see what presets they actually have in here. If there's anything related to warmth, portrait and landscape, bright, candy colors, high key, no, nothing that I actually like. So, let's see, film pack, design color. Well, this one's a bit warm, but it's not quite the look I wanted. Some red tones. It's not quite. Atmospheres. No. There's actually nothing in here that I particularly like. So let's close that. And what I'll do is I will go in to the color channels. Actually, let's we may not even have to do that. Let's just look at color detail. Is it in colors? Yeah, there we go. All right, let's warm up the temperature. There we go. That's it. Here's the before and after. This is exactly what I was looking for. So, I mean, barely even had to raise it. Barely. See, it's 5460. That's pretty much all there really is to it. I mean, it's a bit soft. just from the movement. But it's decent, and this is one of the things I like about DxO, is that once I get this one dialed in the way I want, I can easily apply this to the next image, because I know they're relatively the same. There we go. So from that completely and utterly bland shooting area, I was able to actually find something, visually interesting to actually shoot. Yeah, this one, I don't remember. Oh, right, yeah, I had changed locations, and this one I totally blew out entirely. It's interesting, but let's see if we can actually recover a lot of this. No. No, not going to be able to recover that one. Yeah, it's going to be... Yeah, that just looks odd. And one thing is, do not do this. Oh, I mean, I guess you could get away with it, but I prefer not to do that. Oh, okay, that picture didn't quite come out the way I wanted it to, so let me just turn it black and white. Let's see, which black and white should I do here? We'll do for her. And then let's change the highlights, bring them down a bit. Bring down the exposure just a tad. And let's actually bring the blacks down a bit. And then let's, where is contrast? Let's bring contrast up. And micro contrast up. So, I mean, you could work around it, but I mean, a poorly taken picture is just going to be a poorly taken picture, right? Regardless as to what you actually do. This does look a lot better. I mean, the recovery amount, and then converting it to black and white, this actually doesn't look too bad. But I already know that I wasn't paying attention to my settings. I was shooting in manual, so yeah, that didn't quite work out. So I'm not going to use that one. And so I reshot it. That's much better. Much better. So the look that I was going for, we can just copy that over. I already have those settings copied, and that's actually a bit too much. So let's go back to, actually, let's increase the contrast on this. Okay, there we go. And just a smidgen of fine contrast. There we go. All these little finite details all along there. Okay, now what I want to do is go in here, and I'm just going to change the vibrancy instead of actually changing the color temperature. Just add a little tad bit of warmth here. Yellows, and we'll just add a tad bit of saturation. There we go. There we go. That's better. All right. And so this one I wanted to reshoot just to have a bit of more of the rule of thirds in place, but I didn't like how this just barely got overexposed, so I wouldn't use that one. I would actually use this one. This one is actually still has definition in the highlight area, so that's what I was actually trying to go for. It's actually interesting how everything is in the same line. All right, so we're going to do the same thing here. We're just going to slightly increase the saturation on the oranges, and let's go back.
let's actually raise the curves up a tad, just a tad. Bring that up. Bring that one down just to make it a bit more subtle. Bring that up, and let's drop the highlight slightly. There we go. Okay, and now let's just increase the midtones a tad. And keeping an eye on the histogram. Okay, there we go. I think that's good. And let's add a bit of micro contrast and a bit of fine contrast. And that should be good. Let's see the before and after. Okay. A little bit, just raising the shadows a tad here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. It's a bit more natural looking. It doesn't look like it was overexposed. So that's decent. Alright, so let's move on to the next one. It's pretty much the same thing. Yeah, that one was this one may not actually work for what I was trying to do. Let's paste all. Actually, that one's actually not bad. That works. Alright, let's just drop the highlights down a bit. Let's try to get a bit more definition in here. Okay, I think that works. Yeah, that's not bad. And this one here, I actually was trying to just get it completely and utterly backlit, but that may not have worked out. It looked good in the viewfinder though, and you can see the sun just over here. Let's see if just pasting those same correction settings. So generally what I do, if I'm shooting in the same type of light, I'll work on the first image, and then from there what I'll do is I'll actually apply those settings to the next image, because the lighting is still going to be similar, so I'll get a similar look across the board, right? For example, we've got this, so it's got that warm, it's got that warm tone to it, and then we've got this, which has a warm tone to it, and we've got this one, has a warm tone to it. This one, warm tone. So, no, I try to keep it consistent across the board. Alright, so let's, actually, that one's not too bad the way it is. Just raise the shadows just a bit, give it a bit more life. Okay, and then we'll copy these settings, because I just made one slight adjustment. And let's paste all corrections on this one. There we go. So here's the difference. Well, this one, it just gives that nice warm feeling. You can almost feel heat even though it was freezing cold. And let's see, which one was this? This one, I think, actually, let's see here. If I just paste those correction settings, it may be a little, yeah, it's a little too much. I figured it would be. Let's drop that back down, and we'll copy these settings here. That's about where I would want this. Perfect. So I just wanted just slightly warmer, just a smidgen warmer, not overly done. Yeah. So, oh yeah, and then here's my shadow, the shadow person. And so after shooting there, later on at night, there was a festival of lights thing in my town, so I headed out there and just wanted to test out the DA Star 1650 PLM and the K3 Mark III in a completely dark situation late at night, no sun, just the lights from the town, and let's see how those came out. Okay, so we've got some horses here. And what was this shot at? 12,000 ISO f2.8, 1/180th of a second at 26 millimeters. So, I mean, some of these may be a bit off. But for the most, I mean, you know, this was motion at 1/180th of a second. You know, it's not the easiest to keep in line. You know, I could just do the whole thing of, let's see, detail, there we are. Deep prime and all that. So if you keep an eye on just this spot here, you'll actually, hopefully you'll be able to actually see what this does. This might take a while though. Okay, let's just try prime and see what happens. A tad bit better. Just a tad. Let's see. So along the wall there, so you can see, is really grainy. And then prime cleaned it up a little bit. Deep prime is going to be a lengthy process, but the quality itself that it pulls out is going to be much better. See, it's nice and clean. Nice and clean. Not sure about the detail, and there is a bit of motion blur in here too. So anyway, okay, so let's take a look at Olaf here. Let's turn that off. Oh, hi Olaf. So there is some, you know, and this is at 18,000 ISO. So, you know, pretty high up there in the ISO range. However, let's see if this cleans it up. Yeah, cleaned it up a little bit. It's not too bad. You know, for web viewing, it's fine. You know, I mean, this is completely passable for web viewing. Let's go to the next one. I'm just trying to speed this up here. Okay, so let's just take a look here. Yeah, so this was at 25,600 ISO. Yeah, it's pretty high up there. It just the situation that was presented in front of me, just that there just was not enough light. But the only way to actually get to the limits of the camera is you just got to try everything, right? You just really got to take your chance, do some testing, find out what the ultimate you know, high ISO limit is given the situation that you're in, because it's going to change depending on what you're doing. So this is 12,800 ISO. And again, for web viewing, it's fine, right? Let's move on to the next one. You know, as I said, for web viewing, it's okay. It's okay. For printing, that's a different story. You know, ideally, I would have shot at a slightly lower ISO with a slower shutter speed. However, given the situation that I was in, you know, I just wanted to try to capture some of the motion and stuff. So, all right, let's skip a few and get to the horses. There we go. That's not bad. And I usually go to 50 just to see if this would be decent for web viewing. And yeah, it actually looks pretty good for web viewing. And then after doing the denoising and stuff, you know, there'd be nothing wrong with this. But after I shot that, then, you know, this was the thing. I was in continuous autofocus, and I just could not see the focus point. It was nighttime. It was dark, you know, and the first shot, no problem. Second shot, way off. Way off. Third shot, started to pull it back in. But again, you know, just due to the shutter speed, you know, and the direction of the horses and everything, it just may not have been enough. But the detail is there. Let's see. And then this one here. Yeah, just a tad bit off. But it was a very difficult situation for the camera to focus. Just extremely low light. Got all these lights backlit and everything. Yeah, that one's off. And this one here. Yeah, I don't even know where the camera focused there. But yeah, that's just completely out of focus. And that's just one of the things, if you can't see the focus point, you don't know exactly where it's focusing. I don't know. I mean, there's nothing really else to say about that. It's just the situation and how it is. But anyway, going back to the other images. So looking at where I was actually located and in regards to, being able to pick out shots that are actually present, you just really need to look around and kind of visualize and see, the way the lighting is hitting the subject and things like that. And that's pretty much how you change your perception of what you're viewing. There's always something to take a photo of. You just need to kind of shift your mind in regards to looking at things in a different way. And that's pretty much it. If you like the video, leave a like. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. Helps me out. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. If you'd like to support the channel, that information is at the bottom of the description, down there somewhere. And that's it. I'm gonna go. You'll see me on my next video. I'm out.